It's KFI AM 640, and you're listening to The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. When I first started working here at KFI, Jason Insalaco was a producer, and he also produced the show over at KXLS and KLRA.
We sure did. Coming down in 3.
That's right. And he's with us. Nice to see you, man.
Good to see you.
And your great son, Spencer, who is exactly like you. He talks like you, looks like you. He is you.
He is. He's much better than I am, especially at that age. I wasn't putting a sentence together.
Yeah, but, I mean, Spencer, how old are you? Let's put that on.
I'm 12.
You're 12, man.
Yeah.
But to have a sense of humor at 12 is great. It is great.
Yeah,
I was shy. When I was 12, I didn't talk to anybody. I was paralyzed with shyness until I was about 15. Yeah. I wouldn't talk to anybody. I was the worst. All right, let's talk about real estate. You left radio to get into real estate, and now you become this mogul. Like you own most of the apartment buildings.
In your eyes, I'm a mogul, so I guess I am.
Yes,
right?
you are. You are.
Yes, the
but you own
Donald Sterling of radio real estate.
Yes, and you own most of the apartments in the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah, I would not a majority, but not all of them. But yes, over 50%.
All right, what's going on with real estate? I know that's a vague area and a vague question. Is it a seller's market or a buyer's market?
It is definitely a buyer's market at this point.
Right.
And people may ask, "Wow, does that mean prices are down?" A little bit, but nothing really meaningful. But it's certainly things are staying on the market 50 days plus.
Oh, is that, and what it used to be? 12 days?
Under 40. I mean, when the market's really good, it's under 20 days to 30 days.
Okay.
When it was those sellers markets of 2021.
Do you remember back in the good old days when it was really a seller's market? A house would go, a listing would go up on Thursday, and they'd have 12 offers on Friday.
Yeah, those days don't exist unless something is priced like hyper competitively,
right?
And where they're going to get bid over asking price. But those days aren't happening right now. Now, if you're looking at the price point between like a 900, a million, $1,000,001, which is now is considered more on the lower end, right? I mean, isn't
that crazy?
Yeah, it is. And that those properties, I mean, they're still transacting, and there's definitely a market for it because at this point, with prices, it's still considered almost like a first time entry point,
right?
And so if those are priced correctly and the sellers are willing to work with buyers on concessions and repairs and that kind of thing, you're definitely going to get your price. But the problem is the mindset still is sellers are stuck on 2021 prices.
Yeah, it's not happening anymore.
And that's just not happening. So if the sellers are more realistic, and especially if things have been on the market longer, like in a seller's market, if something's been on the market, 50, 60 days, it's like, oh, that's something's wrong with that property. It's, why isn't it selling? That's crazy, right? But in this market, when something is sat that long, as a buyer, you have a better chance of the seller actually engaging and in some type of, negotiation for the price. And it just could be that they're just more patient. They have to be.
I heard this about Los Angeles, that it's the highest level in the world of any market in the world of curb appeal. 95% of the people will drive by a house, and if they don't like the way it looks, they're not going in to even look at it.
It is, and it's amazing how in this day and age when we've had online listings now for almost 30 years,
right?
Some of the poor photographs or these descriptions that are just, some of them are non-existent. They don't put anything, or it's misspelled, or
they don't clean the house up.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, there's like plates of food in the pictures of the house.
Yeah, the bed's unmade. I mean,
that's right.
There's all kinds of things they could do to tidy that up for 5 minutes before they shoot it. But that's where you can gain the competitive advantage. I mean, it's still very much human emotional activity that is still guided by these kind of financial constraints, of course. And lending and that kind of thing, but
what are rates? What are
about 6.2, 6.25,
which still historically are unbelievable.
They are, and they were even better, a month ago, and they've ticked up slightly, but yeah, they're better than they were 2 years ago.
I mean, that's a teaser rate for a credit card, and you're buying $1 million house on it. But when I was growing up, the $1 million homes were in the in Tarzana, Encino, Sherman Oaks, Studio City, in the hills. Those are $1 million homes. Now, $1 million homes are across the entire valley. in like even like the worst parts of the valley, a single family home is over $1 million.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting. You bring up the valley because a place like West Hills that has always been a nice area, but it's been affordable to get into there in comparison to other parts of the valley. It's really gone up in price a lot. I mean, it has increased in price where everything else is static or has gone down slightly. It has increased because it's more affordable than Calabasas, Agora, and it's still accessible to those areas. But
Calabasas is off the charts.
It's off the charts. So it's like you could still get into West Hills maybe for in the mid nines, high nines, and get a decent little starter home there.
Do people with kids still look at school districts?
Yes.
When they're buying?
They absolutely do. And you can see the price differential. It's especially stark now in Culver City because there's parts of Culver City that are LAUSD zoned, and there's Culver City School District. So
is the Culver City School District a good one?
Yeah, it is. It's a coveted one.
But La Cañada is another one that's great. Burbank's good too.
Burbank's good. Yes, they're good. I mean, in LAUSD, there's some great like magnets and the charter schools have mixed things up a little bit so that it's not as dependent on where you're districted.
Right, but if you're like, let's say you have 4 kids and you move to Culver City or La Cañada, Burbank, one of the, Pasadena maybe. Arcadia, and you can use the local schools with 4 kids. That might save you $100,000 a year in private school education.
Well, if you look at these private, non-religious affiliated schools, you're looking anywhere between $40,000 and $50,000.
Oh yeah, the high end ones, sure, yeah.
For first grade, second grade, third grade. I mean, and that's pretty much all of them, unless they're religiously affiliated. Then Catholic schools, Christian, Jewish schools, they're much less. But just your private like
Campbell Hall.
Exactly. Or, the country school in Valley Village. Oh, this looks so modest from the outside. How much should this be? $40,000. Great.
Right. Yeah. And that's $40,000 after tax dollars.
After tax dollars.
That's a $70,000 paycheck that is going just to that school.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one it is. It's Buckley or which one it is here in the Valley. You've got like RVs in front of it. And, it's just,
really?
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, that's horrible.
It's like, okay. And then it's like, but how much does it cost there? Yeah, $45,000 for second grade.
Yeah.
And it's going to go up.
That's ridiculous. I mean, I understand later on, maybe high school, maybe junior high, but to spend $40,000 a year for a first grader is...
And you're still getting hit up all the time for fundraisers. It doesn't stop.
Well, there's a private school, and I'm not going to say which one because I got in trouble for saying which one last time, but a friend of mine had a couple of kids in this private school, and every other month they send out a flyer with how much the family donated. And if your family, the Insalaco family, donated $0, it would say Jason Insalaco and then -0. It would tell everybody you didn't donate.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Total shame.
Yeah, it's the worst. Yeah, that is ridiculous.
That is
That's right, Spencer. That's right, man. You are your father's kid. All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back and talk more about real estate. I want to ask you, what do you think is a better and a closer estimate when it comes to property value? Do you like Zillow or what's the other one?
The Redfin.
Redfin.
Realtor.
All right. When we come back, we'll ask you which one you think is more accurate. Or realtor.com is also another one.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
Don't forget, your back-to-back world champion Dodgers take on the Padres at Camelback Ranch. Listen to every single play of every Dodger game on AM 570 LA Sports. Now at Verizon, you can lock in your low price for 3 years so you can visit and save big. Go to SoCal Verizon store today. Go to your SoCal Verizon store and save yourself some money. All right, Jason Insalaco is with us. He used to produce radio here. He went into real estate and owns the Valley. Great move. Redfin, Realtor, or Zillow? What's the most accurate number with the property value?
In my experience, it's Redfin. Sometimes Redfin will even be on the lower side.
Oh, really?
Zillow, especially, in the last few years, is grossly overestimating values in this market.
A friend of mine has a house currently selling it, and the difference between Redfin and Zillow is $400,000.
Really?
Yeah, it's $2.1 million on Zillow and $800,000 or $700,000 on Redfin.
Well, the thing is with with Zillow, so you could say, okay, it's giving you this price, and then you could list it at that price, and then Zillow and put it for the exact price that Zillow said it was an estimate,
right?
And it'll then show the actual price, this estimate being like 5% less than that.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's odd. It really is odd. Isn't Zillow a local company? Aren't they in like Thousand Oaks or?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are they? Yeah, I think they are. All right, let's talk about people. Rents. I know they're always talking about rent control. Every time I go to Target or Walmart, people are asking me to sign, these rent control, propositions and to try to get this on the ballot. You are of the belief, and I think you're right, that really kills a market.
Yeah, I mean, economists on both sides of the political aisle for decades have studied it and shown that it actually increases prices, restricts supply, and will increase rents at the fastest rate possible.
Because you have to increase your rent to stay, 4% a year, when a lot of these places never increase rent.
Yeah, and having some, reasonable rent restrictions seems like that could work. But the things that you have in New York City, you have in LA, and now really much of LA County now, could be prohibitive, and not just in terms of limiting the increases or eliminating the increases,
or new projects too.
Yeah, new projects. But see, those always get they always get exemptions. So
wait, they do. I didn't know that. For how long?
So all of a sudden, every like country club Republican, he was like, government off my back, become like, affordable housing developers that are just playing the game,
Right, everybody's doing that now.
Yeah.
Everybody's playing the game, trying to rip off the government.
We're a great public-private partnership and providing much-needed housing throughout Los Angeles. It's just it's a scam. I think it's going to start unwinding, and more of these guys are going to get, I think, taken down.
Oh,
they
good.
Have had some of these guys doing it, going down, and I think it's going to continue.
I want to ask you, you're familiar with this, when there's a dispute between a landlord and a tenant, it seems to me like the courts downtown side with the tenant close to 100% of the time.
It is a tenant-friendly jury pool for sure, and a bench. I mean, the judges, if you decide for a bench trial, I mean, they're going to also generally side with the tenants. With that being said, I mean, rents are soft right now.
Oh, they're much lower?
They're much lower, which is ironic, and it runs in cycles. Usually the most prohibitive rent control seems to always come at the time when the market is actually really correcting itself.
Really?
Right. So then what happens is everyone then starts to raise because we can only raise it 2%, even though they might actually, rents might actually be going down.
What is the reason why because when I drive around Burbank, I never, especially during COVID, I didn't see one vacancy sign for 3 years. Now I see 10 of them a day.
Yeah. I mean, there's less people in the area. There's more people leaving than coming in right now.
Right.
But with that being said, the exodus, I think, has slowed considerably, and I think more people are coming in.
Right.
And that's always been the nature of it, but it certainly has been magnified by.
But also a lot of these these high-paying jobs are disappearing too. I mean, we just saw this today, and I know you're a big radio bull like I am. CBS News Radio is going out of business. I mean, that's 700 high-paying jobs.
Yeah.
They're not all here, but.
Yeah. I think a lot of those are in New York, right? Yeah. In the East Coast. But and there's the thing that's interesting is you have markets like on the East Side, Highland Park, Silver Lake, Echo Park. That market actually is very vibrant right now, and is because there isn't a lot of supply, because the single family homes, a lot of the below the line, or people that are, there's always above and below the line. I think it's both kind of offensive, right? But like the middle of the road, kind of like people that work in the entertainment industry, right? Working actors, screenwriters. They bought their houses, they bought their homes maybe 15, 20 years ago. And so they still have the low interest rate, they have equity. So they've been able to really survive and remain in LA and also restrict supply. When you have those kind of mid-level, like executive price points, say above like $2, $3, $4 million,
right? Like the Melrose area.
Yeah. I mean, those are definitely more distressed in terms of pricing and being more. I want to say distressed pricing, but definitely there are more of them, and the market is softer for them. You
know what I thought? Jason Insalaco is with us. We're talking about real estate. I think it's a beautiful area, and maybe it's already up and came, and I'm just late to the party. But that Los Feliz area is spectacular.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of old homes there. Architecture's interesting.
Beautiful homes.
And I think it's somewhat of an alternative for people who want to live in LA, but they don't necessarily want to live in Hollywood.
Right. But they got great
side.
Restaurants and stores. I mean, it's just a really cool area.
And knowing, Griffith Park is right there. So it does, there's some open space and stuff. There's definitely a lot to offer there. But, what's happening right now is that in the state of California, it's always been Northern California that kind of leads in like price increases and all of that with the Silicon Valley, all that, growing the last 30 years up there.
Right.
That was always the case. Now, the highest values, top 10 zip codes in Southern California.
Oh, they're all in Southern California?
More of them are in Southern California, and it's led by Newport Beach.
Okay. All right. Can you stay with us?
Sure.
All right. When we come back, I'm going to talk about hot zips. Hot zips. Where are the hot zip codes? You have them, right? You know where they are.
Yeah, I've got some hot zips.
Okay, hot zips when we come back. Maybe Crozier's in a hot zip.
91711.
Oh, that's easy to remember. 91711. That's easy, buddy. That's really cool. All right, hot zips. Maybe you live in a hot zip when we come back.
Hot zip time.
Yes, hot zip time. Tip tap time. But anyway, hot zips when we come back. Maybe you live in a hot zip area. I don't know why I like saying that. I just do. Hot zips.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
All right, we're talking real estate. Jason Insalaco's with us here. Real estate mogul, maven. How would you describe what you do?
Mistress?
Mistress? Okay, we'll go with that. All right, let's talk about hot zips. We have a big audience here at KFI. What Northern California used to have all the hot zips, hot zip codes. And now most of them are in Southern California.
That's correct, Tim. Yes. Right now, here's the hottest zip codes.
I'm going to write these
California.
down. Can I guess some?
Yeah, go for it.
I think you let it slip out, but I'm going to say Newport is probably not one or two, but probably 3 or 4 hot zips.
You've got, yes, there's 3 hot zips. 3 out of the top 10 are in Newport Beach, 92657. 92661 and 92662.
And so does Newport, the city of Newport, only has 3 zip codes? All 3 of them are hot zips?
Yeah, I'm not sure how many they have, but 3 is incredible to be 3 of the top 10.
It's unbelievable how many billionaires live in Newport.
Billionaires, centimillionaires, and still, the working class people who bought many years ago or inherited their, family's place, and still, there still is a working class population there, or retired, kind of modest living people there who just have held on.
I heard the average house that sells in Newport Beach is if it's recently priced, is on the market for 2 days.
It goes fast, and you're having a lot of Hollywood money that moved down there during COVID. Or people that have relocated, the Palisades, and saying like, why are we in LA County again? It's nice down here, and everything is less expensive in terms of property taxes, and things kind of work.
All right, I'm going to guess another hot zip is, Beverly Hills has got to be on there.
Yes, Beverly Hills 90210.
Okay, so that I've gotten 4. Another hot zip. I don't know if the Palisades or Malibu still is.
It is not on here.
It's not?
No.
Okay, well, they've had some challenges out there.
Yes, Santa Monica, 90402.
Oh, Santa Monica's on the top 10 hot zips in the country or the state?
In the state.
In the state, okay.
Yeah.
I would say another one would probably be Arleta.
No, it's actually right below Panorama City. And that's number 11.
Which is what?
No,
Panorama City. Okay.
No, Arleta is not on that. We have Rancho Santa Fe, Montecito, Los Altos, and Atherton is number 1 in Northern California.
Oh, okay. All right. So of the 10 hot zips in California, 9 of them are in Southern California?
What? Yeah, 7 of them. 7 out of 10.
That's incredible. I mean, they all used to be in Northern California. Like that Pacific Heights up in Northern California was always number 1.
Right. In San Mateo County, right?
Right. And then across the bridge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Redwood City, all those places. And all those places have still gone up, and they're still quite, affluent. For example, 2001, 7 of the top of the 10 zip codes of the highest home prices were in Northern California, right? Wow. Atherton, Portola Valley, Los Altos. But in 2026, 7 of the state's 10 richest zip codes are now in Southern California.
I heard the hottest zip in the Inland Empire is Claremont. Is that true?
That's still L.A. County.
Is it really?
Eastern part.
We're on
Oh,
the-
that's
we're on
right.
the
That's
line,
right. Yeah. So you can see San Bernardino County from your bedroom.
Oh, yeah, right out my window, yeah.
Oh,
That's why it stays there.
is that what you put in the house description? You can see San Bernardino from my house.
You can see it without having to be in it.
Yeah.
A couple other quick hot areas, real quick.
Yeah.
We got Chatsworth, El Dorado South, Los Altos, Granada Hills, Mid-Central Pasadena, or Eastern.
All right.
Montrose, Verdugo City, and
Montrose is beautiful.
very nice. It's a little Mayberry there.
Is La Cañada a hot zip?
It's always, it's always a hot zip. It's not necessarily in the hot zips I have here, but there's a lot of Hollywood money going there. It's been happening for a while, and then some of these celebrities and athletes are being outed for living there. So maybe it's not as appealing for some seeking to be discreet living there. But
what about wasn't Shohei Ohtani moved to like Montrose or
he was in
La Cañada
for a minute. He bought a house from Radio Bull Adam Carolla.
oh, and then had to sell it or something?
Yeah, it got out there, and there were tour buses going nonstop,
Really?
and a lot of tours from Japan that were just there all the time, and then fans, and it was just going to be too much. He hadn't even moved in yet.
Just some a-hole just reported where he lived and it was over, huh?
I don't know. I can't speak to that, but it was public. I mean, I don't know what he expected, but
Right.
they did some the digging at the LA Times, and they figured it out. He put his LLC in the name of his dog.
Oh, is that
And his
right?
agent as a service of process. For
Oh, wow.
LLC.
I don't
So-
know if you already said, but is there a number or a line that makes it a hot zip, or is it kind of a scale?
Well, it's kind of like hot talk, right? I'm pretty sure it's just like these ridiculous things that people say and just like hot zip, hot talk. Oh, yeah, that's hot. Have you heard that sensation? Oh, that's
Hot talk.
That's good, like coming out of the speakers. That's how many 100 degrees dripping on the floor. Yeah.
That's so great. I would say Arcadia is a great zip. You know what I think is one of the best kept secrets in LA County, and maybe you agree, I don't know. I think Montrose is one of the best kept secrets in LA County.
Absolutely. Most of it is Glendale City, and there's part of it that's unincorporated. LA County, and yeah, it's got amazing shopping. It's
beautiful.
Yeah, and they're nice homes up there, but they're not McMansions. There's a very limited amount of very large homes. So
Remember Tracy Miller invited us to her house.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes, I remember that. Yes,
Beautiful woman.
she was a very nice one. Remember that party at her house? So she was
Yeah,
very nice.
we went to the parade, then the party at her house, the Christmas party and parade. That was great. All right, when we come back, a little more on real estate, the up and coming areas. What's happening with the areas that are up and coming. Maybe you're moving to one. Maybe you live in one. Jason Insalaco knows everything about real estate. And by the way, I also heard from a friend of yours. I don't even know why you didn't tell me, but you also you got a law degree while we were working together at KLSX, and now you're a psychiatrist or a psychologist.
No, not a psychiatrist, not a psychologist, but I'm an associate marriage and family therapist.
Really?
Who is part of a private practice in Pasadena.
Is that right?
In the old Superior building right there on Union and Raymond Street.
And how do people get a hold of you for that?
JasonInsalacotherapy.com.
Wow. I could slide in there, right?
Yes.
Or do I know you too well?
I have clients that are just like you, Tim.
Yeah. Well, if my wife and I came in and you didn't take my side, I'd be really pissed.
Yeah, couples aren't my forte. I refer those out.
I see. Okay. Thank God.
I can barely deal with one person. Two at a time. I'm trying to manage it.
Okay.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
Jason Insalaco is with us. We're talking about real estate. Everybody in Southern California either owns a home or knows somebody who owns a home. And people always want to talk. It's odd. People always want to talk about their home. When I was growing up, that never happened.
And that's only, I think, an LA, maybe California thing.
Yeah. But they were talking about the value of the home.
With complete strangers, just have no problem of like, oh yeah, I bought this for that, and then oh, by the way, what's your name? Where do you live? I'm 4 months behind on my mortgage. I'm going to foreclose. Oh well, we made $800 on this. Yeah, it's a very weird thing, and when people from the Midwest, especially, come out and they hear that, it's very often
They're shocked.
Yeah,
absolutely. How about people coming over from Germany? I mean, they're shocked when people say hi to them, let alone when somebody in Gelson's runs into you and goes, yeah, I just made $1.2 million on this property. But Americans are so willing to give that information up so quickly.
They are, and then you throw in a hug, and these Germans are just like petrified. Like, what is going on here?
What are some upcoming areas? I know that Arcadia has always been like an up and coming area, and still is for some reason.
Yeah, there's.
But by the way, that Arcadia's been on the up and coming list for like 20 years. It should come already. It should be here already.
It's been up for decades. Yeah, it's a. So Arcadia, of course, is a very valuable, not only for its location, but its school district is highly valued.
Oh, they got a good school district out there?
Yeah, it's one of the best, and it's a safe community. There was a lot of Chinese money that came in from China, and that dried up, last 5, 6, 7 years, not as much, but still the values haven't really been impacted by it, and it continues to be.
There's some very expensive homes in the like the northern end of Arcadia, up in like the flats approaching the mountains. I don't know what they call that area. There's a little shopping center there, downtown, and I'm forgetting the not Montrose, but
Hastings Ranch kind of area.
Yeah, right there. You're right in that area. Yeah,
Arcadia.
It was just east of where the fire was.
Yeah, I mean Chris McCarron used to live up there.
Yeah. A lot of the jockeys lived up there.
Yeah.
It was almost all jockeys.
I used to see him at the dog park, and then we would talk, and no one else would be there, and then we'd kind of run out of things to talk about.
Yeah, Chris McCarron is a Hall of Fame jockey that ran at Santa Anita, Hollywood Park, and Del Mar for quite some time, and a lot of jockeys do live up in that area. All right, so what are the up and coming areas?
Well, I wouldn't say this is up and coming, but this is a little sleeper hit. Northridge, right?
Northridge.
And you think Northridge, of course, has been around forever. Okay. Nothing special. Yes, they have Cal State Northridge. It's it's a great employment center, and there's a lot of people there. But that has seen incredible growth in the last 4 years.
Really,
even from the peak of 2021, the average was 970 there. It is now over 1,000,001.
T, were you talking about Sierra Madre?
Oh, Sierra Madre. That's it. Yeah. That's beautiful there. You live walking distance Sierra Madre. That's a touchdown. It's like you're living in the Midwest. It really is spectacular. Old hardware store that smells like an old hardware store, a little theater, great restaurants. It really
the only thing that keeps prices somewhat muted in Sierra Madre is because it doesn't have its own school district.
I didn't know that. Real? It's Pasadena? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. That makes a big difference, though. What about Burbank? Is that still a hot area, hot zip, up and coming area?
Yes, it is still a very desirable area in Burbank.
Mostly for the schools?
Well, you got schools, you got location, you have
their own police department,
excellent public services. All of those things are still very desirable, even though, as you know, Burbank has grown, and it is, it's still on the smaller side, but it's not a little town anymore.
Burbank is the only city in the United States that doubles in size every day with the people that work here. There's 115,000 people that live in Burbank, and that population goes to 230 during the day because of employment.
It is. And even though office space has, that's definitely taken a hit since the pandemic, and vacancies higher to leasing and buying office space, but in Burbank has always held pretty strongly, even though the entertainment industry has impacted some of that space, but its office vacancy rate is significantly lower than downtown LA, parts of the Valley, and Glendale, and Pasadena. It's always very low here.
And one of the nice things about Burbank is the 3 or 4 times, maybe 3 times, that I've had to call the cops in an emergency situation, they were all 3 times they got there in less than 2 minutes. And that's incredible. I mean, you live in LAPD, they're stretched thin. It might be an hour and a half before they get out there.
Yeah, then they get out there and go, "What took you so long?" And they say, "Oh, because you voted for all these things."
Yeah, that's right.
Like, no, it's not. Like, you have 7 senior lead officers that are sitting around at coffee shops. So get those guys responding to calls.
How dare
it's unbelievable.
All right, give us another area that's like up and coming. You think is interesting?
Okay, this northeast Torrance, Old Torrance area.
Stefouche, northeast Torrance, buddy.
Where you go?
Yeah, there's plenty of variety. There's smaller properties there, still in the 600 range, believe it or not. While larger, well-kept craftsmen and some of the larger homes can go well up to 1.6, 1.7, 1.8.
You know what city really exploded in the last 10 years or so, and the houses tripled. Almost every house tripled in price. Is Inglewood. England went through the roof. When they got the Rams, the Chargers, and the Clippers, you've got the Old Forum, which is the Kia Center or whatever they call that. It's exploded out there.
It has, and it's close. I mean, we used to be El Segundo. Remember, that was kind of a sleepy town?
Yeah.
Now that is like, what they call it Silicon Beach, but there's so much money down there now, and everyone is priced out. If people like live there and then left and want to come back, they can't get in. El
Wow,
Segundo.
is that right?
So yeah, you have
Got to stay.
people moving to these other closer areas that were never really on the radar before.
All right, so you do therapy, Jason Insalaco therapy.com.
Yeah, Jason Insalaco Therapy.
And mostly what kind of therapy?
Well, I work with adults, children, adolescents, do individual therapy, and I work in a beautiful private practice on the Superior Building in Old Town, Pasadena.
Oh, nice.
On Raymond and Holly.
Are you still getting a lot of people that were affected by COVID?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, especially kids.
Yes, especially kids.
Yeah.
But adults, everything is still unwinding from that period 6 years ago.
Wow. I always say, though, if for some strange reason you liked the excitement of COVID and you liked being locked down and you liked, not going out of your house and the masks and the gloves and the 6 feet apart, just go to Whole Foods. They're still doing it.
Yeah.
All right. Buddy, thanks for coming in. You're a giant stud. And Spencer, nice to see you. How old are you now?
I'm 12 now.
12. All right. That's a nice soccer shirt. You must be the king of the soccer team.
I don't like soccer at all. I don't know why I'm wearing this.
What the hell's going on with you?
I just want to say, so I don't know. Shout out to my school. Shout out to my school.
How about a shout out to your friends?
Shout out to Emmy and Santi.
Are those girls?
They're boys.
All right. Well, you never know.
Their name is Emmy and Santi.
Emmy's a boy?
Yeah. His name is Emiliano. Everyone calls him Emmy. And,
Okay.
all right. And
you want to give out the shout out the school you go to?
Shout out St. Francis Xavier.
Woo!
If any of you guys from the school are listening to it, just
Hit you up.
Tell me at school.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Flash
the lights. That means you're listening, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Yes. Flash those lights. All right. Nice to see you guys. Jason Insalaco Therapy. Go look him up on the internet. And Spence, nice to always see you, buddy. Guy's wearing a soccer shirt. He's never seen a soccer ball in his life. I don't know what his dad's doing to him. All right. We're live. When we come back, Tip Tap Talkback time on KFI. And we're going to give out the tickets for Disneyland when we come back right here on KFI AM 640.
This is KFI.
This has been The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. The Year is live. Join us on KFI AM 640, weeknights 6 to 10 p.m., Monday through Friday. Ding dong with this app.